News from the world of sports.
All right, man. We had a major trade that happened in the NFL that is rocking the world right now. The Dallas Cowboys made headlines as they traded away star pass rusher Micah Parsons to the Green Bay Packers. The deal was for defensive tackle Kenny Clark and a 2026 and 2027 first-round pick. The Packers also wasted no time signing the All-Pro to a reported $188 million contract, averaging $47 million a year, making him the highest paid non-QB in NFL history, making this arguably the biggest move in Packers history since Reggie White back in 1993, and we all know how that worked out for the Packers. A couple years later, they were taking home that Lombardi trophy back to Green Bay, where it started all from. As you can see, Mr. G Mike is already distressed. His Dallas Cowboys made another move that is puzzling, and we can't really figure out what they're doing sometimes. So, I mean, honestly, let's go ahead and give this one up for Mr. Jerry Jones. The audience loved it. They're excited for you, man.
He's speechless.
G Mike, what's your thoughts on this, brother?
You need a minute.
Oh, man.
It's okay, man. You can cry.
No, I'm not going to cry. But it's very frustrating on how us as fans, and it's not just Dallas Cowboys fans. It's fans for any team sport that you are. BC with the Buccaneers, Steve with the Colts, me as a Dallas Cowboys fan. It is heartbreaking and frustrating to see that you want your team to have so much success and you want your team to win and you want to be on top of the world and be champions and be all what is talked about in that sport. But it doesn't seem to be like that in Jerry's mind. It seems to be like his pride takes over. He doesn't want to be disrespected in any kind of way. And I don't know for a fact that Micah Parsons disrespected him, but if I would put money on it, I would put the over that he did disrespect him. So Jerry Jones doesn't like that. He has full pride, and he's going to be like, you know what? I'm going to get you off the team. I don't care if you are a top 2, top 3 defensive end in the league right now. I don't care if you can change a whole defense's dynamic when it comes to stopping the pass, stopping the run, and making the whole opposing offenses in such confusion with the type of player that he is that it just makes everything go a clusterfuck. And Jerry doesn't care about that. He doesn't care about that. So they traded him away to a team that literally embarrassed us the last playoff game that we were in, a team that literally stopped us from going to the Super Bowl with Tony Romo and Des Bryant because of the whole it was a catch scenario. And you give them I would say, best player on the team, honestly. Our best player on the team, you give it to them, and now they went from maybe they'll win the division to looks like they're going to go to the Super Bowl. And, dude, it's just very frustrating as a fan to see that you want to win and you want to have the best players around in the team to win, and that is not going to happen with this trade. And we only got 2 first-round picks back and Kenny Clark, that they think that Kenny Clark is like Aaron Donald.
Yep. Well, I was going to say that's literally like I got an article pulled up here. Jones is like, this was a successful move to get us in the playoffs for making that trade. It's like, this was a move to be better on defense, stopping the run. This was to move too, if we get behind, not be run on. And this is a deliberate move, a well thought out move to make this happen. Your thoughts?
Yeah, man, it's just crazy some of the stuff that's been going on with Dallas, and Jerry's definitely one of those guys, like you were saying before, that he wants to be the face. And we are joking before the show a couple of days ago. Jerry loves the drama, and I honestly thought that's all this was that they were just going to keep all eyes on Dallas Cowboys. It's good for the brand. It keeps them in the media. I really didn't expect this one to happen. I mean, this does bring up another question, though, that I wanted to – we can get back to the Micah thing, but this is kind of wild to me. It's something I was thinking about the other day. It's pretty crazy. Do you think it's a new era in sports right now? Because if you think about it in basketball, the Mavs just traded their other star player, Luka Doncic, to the Lakers. The Dallas Cowboys just traded arguably the generational piece as well to Green Bay. Do you think do you think these are right moves that they're looking for long term, or do you think that they're just being so knee jerk now because it's so win now and no one's happy? BC, what do you think about that?
I think it's probably a little bit more of the latter. I'm sure in the owners' minds they're thinking it's the former, but no, it's more short-sightedness on their part. And I think you guys have pretty much hit the nail on the head as far as Jerry Jones. Delusional, I would say, at best. Like he does want to be the face of the Cowboys. He wants to be the star. He runs the show. That's how it's been ever since the 90s, ever since when he took over for the team. And I get the idea that, bad publicity is better than no publicity, but at what cost, though? If you are known as kind of a cancer, unsaid to your franchise, to the fans, to the team, like whatever, that eventually players hear that back enough, they don't want anything to do with your organization. I get it that you want to be popular, you want the primetime spots and everything, but eventually the losing and the horrible reviews that you get from people leaving the organization, those come back to bite you. So there needs to be a healthy balance of, yes, you need to stay relevant as a franchise, but at the same time, you need to be respectable as a franchise as well. And being an owner, part of that is doing your job and not trying to be the face of the team, but putting the right people in place to make the correct football decisions, personnel decisions, etc. Everybody has to do their job. It's a well-oiled machine. You are not the face. You are just one small part of it.
Gee, Mike, I'd redirect the same question to you, man. I just found that to be kind of interesting that in the same, fiscal year, if you will, two major pieces have been traded. And I don't know if you like the return that Dallas got. I mean, they couldn't get any more first rounders. You can only get 2 first rounders. But it's almost the same kind of situation with Luka as well. Like that, most of the fans are like, what the hell did we just do here? As a Cowboys fan, do you think this was a knee jerk, or do you think that this actually do you see a path that this could actually work?
Is that you want to win every single season? You want to win now. Mm-hmm. I'm in that mentality that you want to win now. I don't want to build for the future. I don't want to wait 5 years to be relevant or to be in the playoffs or to be talked about as a contender. I want it right now, every single season. That's how you got to be. And obviously, reality is every single season you're not going to win. But are you going to strive to win? Yes, you should. But obviously, in this case, that's not what it is for Jerry Jones. For him, it's more like, and if you saw the documentary on Netflix about Jerry Jones and the Cowboys and the 90s Super Bowls and all that stuff, you can take away from that he's very prideful. He's a marketing genius, 100%. Do not take that away from him. But that's a bad thing as well, because he knows how to get in front of the limelight, how to bring the drama, how to bring the TV ratings, how to bring the money. And that is more important to him, in my eyes, and a lot of other people's eyes, than actually winning. I'm not saying that he does not want to win, because I do believe he does want to win, but he wants to win. He wants to be in the limelight and make more money. Yeah. That's how I see it when it comes to Jerry Jones. And yes, to answer your question, yes, there could be a potential upgrade. Like it could be, okay, we're going to take 5 steps back now, but we're going to take 10 steps, a 10-step jump later on, right? It can be that 100%. It can be that, but no, I'm trying to win now, and like it's not making sense, bro. You got one of the top 5 defensive players in the NFL on your squad, and you know that. Just pay the man, dude. Just freaking pay him.
Here's the other thing that's kind of interesting, and I think I really like the move for Green Bay for obvious reasons besides getting Micah Parsons. But getting rid of the 2 first rounders, yes, you're going to be losing out on first round assets. But if Green Bay does this right, in which they are going to be a good team, those picks are going to be in the late 20s. And so those guys don't even pan out at all. So in Green Bay's eyes, we get a generational talent for 4 years. We got him locked up. He's happy. He got the deal that he wanted. He's back. He's playing where he wants to be. But then on their eyes, if this actually does work out, let's say they take the Chiefs approach or something like that. They go back-to-back Super Bowls or doing you know what I'm saying? Those picks are going to be later on. And some of those picks don't even make the team. You never know how it's going to work out. So that's another aspect, I think, for how Green Bay, I love this move for them. Green Bay has never been known for a team that makes free agency moves like this. Besides, like we were alluded to the Reggie White earlier, they don't really do that. They build from the ground up. They build in the draft. That's just how they run their organization. And it's worked out really well for them, obviously. But
it's interesting though too. We've been seeing this shift. It seems like this summer we saw it obviously earlier with the Magic. doing in basketball across sports.
Mhm.
You know, kind of mortgaging the next few years' first round picks for, you know, a 4 or 5 year window. But again, like you guys have been alluding to, if they win now, those picks are going to be kind of irrelevant.
Yeah.
So it's a smart move where you're hedging your bets right now and being great. And then, you know, Dallas is taking a big chance on, oh, well, these picks might be working out. They're first round picks. Those are not guaranteed. And that's, I think, another thing that a lot of people aren't looking at is Micah Parsons. We already know what we're getting with him. We're getting probably 15, 20 sacks each season. That's just how great of a player he is. These first round picks the next couple of years, we don't know what those picks are going to be. And like Steve said, you know, you better be hoping and praying then. I mean, their edge rush depth is pretty good right now with Ezraku, Fowler, and all them. But you better pray and hope then that whatever position you're targeting in the next 2 drafts, that's deep in the next 2. Because if you're picking towards the end of the first round, good luck finding a great prime generational player on your team.
Yeah, and the other thing that's kind of wild for Dallas in this situation is going back to the picks aspect of this. If Dallas is worth anything, which they did lose Micah Parsons, their defense sucked already, so that was kind of already expecting that going into it. So that's not like a huge shocker. But what if Dallas actually does pan out and make the playoffs? Now that pick, their first round pick, they're going to be picking a bunch of late picks again. So this doesn't even work out in the aspect of where they're going to be picking, number 1 overall. They're not going to be the worst team in the league. So you're going to have to hope that another pass rusher, if that's what you're going to go with, and which I don't even know, now that they did lose Micah, that's probably going to be one of their priorities. But the other thing is, too, is their running back situation. Let's see how Jaden Blue works out. They need running backs in there. The running back situation is pitiful there. So there's a lot of other things they need besides getting another generational pass rusher. Just pay the man. And what's wild, too, is about with Michael Parsons is that Michael Parsons wasn't a negative locker room guy. All the other players on the Cowboys wanted him to stick around. All of them, when he was going through all this drama, all were tweeting about how they are changing their pictures to his, and just they wanted him around. He's supposed to be apparently a good teammate. They understood what he was doing, and they had no problems, which is kind of rare in these situations. Whenever you have such a generational talent and such a great player, and the players actually want to be around him. He's a leader, and they want to be around him, and you just kind of. You toyed around, and I think you messed around with the wrong guy. Finally, a lot of these guys finally are, they don't say they want to request the trade. And that's a new thing now. It's become almost like an NBA where it's player empowerment now. It seems like the NFL is making a transition as well. That these players are trying to call these owners out on the BS of like, hey, we're only around here for so long, and I want to win, and I want to try and make some money. So if you're not going to pay me, you're not going to treat me the way I want to be treated, I'm out.
Yep.
So I think they're kind of taking a page out of the NBA's book out of there.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. We're going to be, I think that this is kind of a transition now we're seeing with a lot of these teams. So, and a lot of these players. So it's going to be interesting how this kind of plays out over the next few years, the gambling and mortgaging of future on these draft picks with unhappy, unsatisfied players. It's an interesting time in sports right now with this.
And it just makes to me, it should be just obvious. Like a dude knows his worth on the field. And he knows that other teams, and it's been proven time and time again, he knows that other teams will pay what he's asking for. Yep. So if the team is not going to give me what I'm asking for, all right, cool. I'm going to request a trade. I'm out of here. I'm going to go get it somewhere else. I promise you that. And it happens time and time and time again, bro. And it's just, you can't be mad at the player for requesting the trade. Yes, I hate that we lost Parsons, but I'm not going to be upset at what he did and what he was doing throughout the whole time, because if it was me in those shoes too and I knew my worth, I want to get paid for my worth. I don't want to get paid as like someone like he thought he should be the top highest non-QB paid in the league. And that's what he turned into now with the Packers. And he wanted to do that with Dallas, but Jerry didn't want to give it to him. And he knows his worth, pay him his worth. If not, I'm out of here. I would do the same shit.
Yeah, I don't necessarily blame Parsons for that as well, and especially too, he ended up on a good team too. So like it ended up working out great for Parsons in this situation. He's going to end up in a great organization that they do respect their players, they do treat their players the way they should be. There is no issues going on with that, and I'm happy for Parsons in the aspect that he got out of there. And the other thing with the Cowboys too is it's not like a whole take on Cowboys just shitting on the Cowboys here, but next year, they're going to be in cap hell like the Saints usually are, man. They have so many contracts that are so high, they're going to have to figure out a lot of things. So maybe on this aspect, Jerry Jones was maybe a little bit smarter in knowing the fact that I'm going to have to pay a lot of money next year as well. So maybe I wasn't going to be able to keep him anyways. So maybe that was the plan, that he saw the writing on the wall that we're not going to come to agreement, and then you're going to have to figure out how we're going to afford to keep all these players. So maybe that was the background that we're not really seeing his side of it, but overall, I don't know. I think this is a gigantic win for the Packers, and it's a loss for the Cowboys. I can't think of it any other way.
Well, and that's what happens when you invest so much of your cap in a quarterback who, at best, has been above average. I mean, would you say I'm wrong, G Mike?
I mean, one year he was top 3. He was almost voted as MVP, but throughout his whole year, he's played above average for sure. I would agree with that. He can play better. He just doesn't have the clutch gene like that. Last year, he tried to prove a little different, which I think he took the steps towards that, but there's still more that he needs to prove for sure.
Yeah, $60 million though is still.
How interesting is it though? Is that like I don't blame the Cowboys' problems necessarily on Dak per se. I blame it more on like the defense. So I think Dak is outplayed. I mean, remember Dak was starting on the bench whenever he eventually he played in the preseason, worked his way up to the top, earned that contract, got where he needed to be, and now he finally has one of the best offenses besides the running backs that he's had, and then you lose Micah Parsons. You know, they might have actually been a slight sleeper to make a wild card and maybe make some noise there, because I think the offense is going to be awesome. I'm excited to see the Cowboys offense, but they're going to have to score, especially now losing Micah. They're going to have to put up 60 points a game. They're basically the Cincinnati Junior.
Yeah, like I was telling one of my good friends, because he's a Cowboys fan as well. I was telling him, I'm like, dude, we're gonna have to pray that the opposing offenses has more turnovers than we do, and that they have a shitty defense like us. Because if not, if we're playing against teams that have great defenses and decent offense, we're gonna lose, bro. We're gonna lose because they're just gonna like pummel us.
Or how about why not go after Brian Robinson? How about going after Brian Robinson? He just got traded for pennies on the dime, pretty much. You know, they needed. I think that they have a collection of one good running back between all of them they have there. You know, and especially with the defense being this bad, you're going to want to keep the opposite team off the field. You're going to want to put your defense on the field, so running the ball is going to be crucial for them, because if they have 2 great wide receivers, Jake Ferguson's also a great tight end. But if you score too fast, that means your defense is going to have to go back out, and that's not going to work out for you. So like they're in a very interesting spot, you know. So I don't want to take the entire time and dog the Cowboys. I just know that like this was a big thing, man. And I know Mr. G Mike, you probably feel like he got just a straight gut punch, you know. So it is.
Bro, you know how many people wrote to me yesterday, bro? Right before we were gonna go hit the golf range as well, I was just like already on edge. I was like, oh my god, bro! So many people wrote to me, just saying a bunch of stuff, and I'm just like, it's tough. It's tough being a Dallas Cowboys fan.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I feel your pain, man. I literally got texts from Luka. I thought it was a joke, honestly, but then I had like 52 text messages when I woke in the morning that Luka got traded. I'm like, there's no way this actually happened. But I'm with you, brother.
That's sports, though, man. It is cyclical. One decade you're on top, running the league. The next, you're in mediocrity. So I mean,
or in the case of the Cowboys, it's been 25 years. So I mean, like,
I did not want to go that far, but okay.